Before the rise of great empires, before the world knew the names of Babylon and Assyria, there existed an ancient fear. A fear whispered among the people, passed from mother to daughter, from priest to king. It was a warning, a tale of something that moved through the night, unseen but felt, a presence that sent chills through the bones of even the bravest men. In these lands, where mighty kings ruled under the watchful gaze of the gods, where priests sought to command the forces of the universe, there was one force they could not control. She was neither god nor mortal. She was the darkness between dreams, the whisper in the wind, the unseen terror that crept into the hearts of men. Her name was Ardat Lili, the ghostly seductress, the bringer of misfortune, the whispering shadow in the dark. In the heart of Mesopotamia, where civilization first rose from the fertile lands between the Tigris and Euphrates, ancient scribes inscribed tales of gods, kings, and spirits. Among these stories, hidden within the cracked clay tablets of Sumer and Akkad, one name appeared again and again, a name spoken in hushed voices, feared yet never forgotten: Ardat Lili. The word Ardat in Akkadian meant an unmarried young woman, one who had never known the embrace of marriage, never borne children. In life she was incomplete. In death she became something else, something unnatural. But her true nature was far more sinister, for she was tied to something much older, something darker. The second half of her name, Lili, bound her to the dreaded Lilith, the ancient night demon who defied the gods and became a terror of the darkness. Lilith was said to be the first wife of Adam, cast out of paradise for refusing to submit. She became a spirit of the night, a predator of men, a devourer of infants. And Ardat Lili was believed to be her descendant, lesser in power, but no less dangerous. To the people of Mesopotamia, Ardat Lili was not just a legend, she was an omen, a creeping terror, a presence lurking in the unseen. She was the reason men feared to sleep alone, the reason mothers prayed for their daughters to wed before it was too late. In the ancient world, a woman's fate was bound to marriage and motherhood. To live unmarried, to die without bearing children, was to be incomplete, unfinished. And in death, such women were not granted peace. Ardat Lili was said to be one of these lost souls, a woman who had perished before marriage. Her spirit denied the warmth of love, the bond of a family. She was neither wife nor mother, neither mortal nor divine. In life, she was forgotten. In death, she became something far more dangerous. At first, she wandered, lost, unseen, calling out in the wind for the love she was denied. But longing turned to hunger, and hunger turned to vengeance. She no longer sought love, she sought companionship of another kind, through fear, through terror, through the touch of death itself. Men who slept alone were warned. Never lie in bed without an amulet. Never let the fire in the hearth burn out. For when the night was deep and the world was silent, Ardat Lili would come, not in flesh, but in dreams, in shadows, in longing. She would come to them in their sleep, her form that of a beautiful woman, her voice soft as silk, whispering sweet promises, unfulfilled desires, and forgotten dreams. To those who saw her, she was irresistible, a vision of love lost, or love never found. Her embrace was intoxicating, but deadly. She did not come to love, she came to feed. By morning, those who had felt her touch would awaken cold and weakened, their bodies drained of life. Some would never wake at all, their souls stolen away into the void. Some called her a succubus, a spirit who fed on desire and despair. Her victims were left feverish, cursed, doomed to waste away until nothing remained but hollow skin and whispers of what they once were. But some believed her power went beyond dreams. They whispered that she could possess the living, slipping into their minds like a serpent into water. Those she chose would hear her voice long after the night had passed, whispers from the other side dragging them slowly into madness. Before the gods tamed the world, before order was carved from chaos, there were spirits that roamed the night, restless, vengeful, insatiable. Among them, none were more feared than Lilith, the first she-demon, the mother of darkness. and in her wake she left shadows, fragments of her wrath given form. One of those shadows was Ardat Lili. Some believed that Ardat Lili was a lesser form of Lilith, a mere echo of her power cast upon the earth. Others whispered that she was her daughter, born from darkness itself, an extension of Lilith's eternal vengeance upon men. Wherever Lilith's name was feared, Ardat Lili's presence was felt, slipping through the veil between dream and waking, between life and death. But Lilith was not the only creature of the night with whom Ardat Lili was compared. To many, she was a sister to Lamashtu, the monstrous demoness who preyed upon pregnant women and newborns, who spread disease and death like a shadow over civilization. Lamashtu brought death to the cradle, while Ardat Lili haunted those who lay alone, whispering curses and draining life. One stole infants from the womb, the other seduced men into oblivion. Together they were omens of misfortune, harbingers of suffering that no temple or king could fully keep at bay. To speak her name was to invite her presence. To see her in dreams was to risk never waking again. And to ignore the warnings of the ancients was to invite the wrath of the night itself. The fear of Ardat Lili was woven into the daily lives of the people of Mesopotamia. To them, she was not merely a story whispered to frighten children. She was a real and ever-present threat, lurking in the darkness, waiting for those who were unprotected. Protection against Ardat Lili was not taken lightly. Priests and exorcists were called upon to inscribe sacred incantations onto clay tablets, words of power invoking the might of the gods to banish her from the world of the living. These tablets were placed beneath pillows, buried near doorways, or kept close to the heart, serving as barriers against her malevolent reach. Amulets were forged from bronze and stone, bearing the names of divine protectors. The most powerful among them was Pazuzu, the monstrous wind demon, whose fearsome visage was said to terrify even the most malevolent of spirits. A paradox of Mesopotamian belief, one demon to guard against another. These charms were worn around the neck, placed near sleeping infants, and hung above beds to ward off Ardat Lili's deadly embrace. Fathers prayed for their daughters to be wed, for an unmarried woman risked more than a lonely life. She risked becoming Ardat Lili herself, a restless shade doomed to wander the night, hungering for what she could never have. Marriage was seen as a safeguard, a tether to the world of the living, ensuring a woman would not return in death to haunt those she left behind. Men feared sleeping alone, for Ardat Lili was drawn to them, seeking companionship, seeking vengeance, seeking a soul to claim. A man who slept unguarded might wake to find himself drained, feverish, or never wake at all. And so the people took no chances. They whispered prayers before closing their eyes, offerings were left at shrines, and sacred names were spoken when the wind howled in the night. For in the land where the gods walked, where kings ruled with divine right, there were still forces beyond control. Ancient spirits who could not be so easily cast away. And when the night came, no temple, no priest, no prayer could ever fully silence the call of Ardat Lili. Though the grand temples of Mesopotamia have long crumbled into dust, and the voices of its priests have faded into the void of history, the legend of Ardat Lili has never truly vanished. Her story has endured, reshaped, and reborn in the folklore of countless cultures, whispered in the fearful hush of midnight tales. In the medieval world, she took on new forms. The succubi of Europe, demonic seductresses who visited men in their sleep, draining them of their vitality, echoed the ancient fears once held by the people of Mesopotamia. Like Ardat Lili, these creatures were said to be the spirits of women who had died unmarried, cursed to wander the night, seeking to fulfill their unfulfilled desires in the dreams of men. Across the windswept moors of Celtic lands, her tale took another form, that of the banshee, the weeping ghost whose cries foretold death. Though not a seductress, the banshee shared Ardat Lili's sorrowful origins, her existence bound to tragedy and loss, forever lingering at the edges of the mortal world. From the mist-veiled legends of Japan to the eerie folklore of Latin America, the essence of Ardat Lili has persisted. The White Lady, the vengeful Yurei, The spectral figures who haunt bridges, rivers, and roads, each one a reflection of a fear older than civilization itself. The fear of the restless dead, of spirits denied peace, of figures emerging from the darkness with intentions unknown. Even today, stories of ghostly women continue to unsettle the living. A woman in white who appears on deserted roads, luring drivers to their doom. A shadow at the foot of the bed, watching in silence. A whisper in the darkness when no one is there. Ardat Lili has never truly left. Her form may change, her name may be forgotten, but her presence lingers in every culture, in every fear of the unseen. She is the whisper in the darkness, the shadow at the foot of the bed, the cold breath on the back of your neck as you sleep. And even now, as you listen to this tale, you might start to wonder, is she watching? The night is her domain, the darkness her veil. When the wind howls, when the shadows stretch long, beware. For Ardat Lili still walks among us. She is more than a legend, more than a myth. She is a whisper in the wind, a shadow in the corner of your eye, a presence lingering just beyond the veil of the waking world. Some say she is long forgotten, buried beneath the ruins of time. But the wind tells another story. Perhaps you will hear her tonight, in the rustling leaves outside your window, in the faint breath on your skin when no one is near, or in the sound of your own name, spoken from the darkness.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.